Before we begin today's episode, we want to acknowledge that the stories shared in this podcast may touch on mental health challenges, shared by real people with real experiences. If you or someone you know needs support, help is available. In Australia, you can contact Lifeline at 131114 or Beyond Blue at 13002 246 36 for confidential support. If you are in immediate danger or need urgent help, please pause this episode and call 000 now. If you're listening from outside Australia, we encourage you to reach out to local mental health services for support. Remember, you are not alone. Help is always within reach. Now, let's get into today's conversation.
Hi, and welcome to Beauty Beyond the Banter. I'm your host, Jazz. Today on the show, we've got Spicy Mac. She's a beautiful friend of mine from America, and I'm super excited to hear her story. And, you know, it's going to be fun, uplifting energy for everyone at home, since that both of us don't stop talking ever. So I cannot wait to see how this one turns out. I do want to first and foremost thank the original custodians and owners of the land that we are so proud to live on. All the past and present elders also, big respects to you. Also to say that I am in no way a mental health professional. Any advice or anything we speak on in this episode will solely be based on life experience, not certified experience. So if you do need any help and if at any point this is triggering for you, I please urge you to stop. Go seek help, call a friend, call Lifeline, or seek a number that you can find on our page to help direct you in the right way. But we hope that you're all okay, and we hope that you enjoy this episode with Spicy Mac. Welcome in.
Oh, yes, let's go.
Hi.
Spicy Mac. This is different. This is new. Hello.
Yeah. I know, it's so
Yeah,
different to having a lot of people interacting and kind of, you know, giving you things to go
Yeah.
off, hey?
Yeah, I'm not very good when it comes to me being put on the spot, but we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this.
I think that you'll be totally fine, I guess. We just got to start from the start. Like, where'd you come from? What do you do?
So I could say, so check it. So my mother was adopted, and so was my aunt, and I don't know my father, so it was just me and my mom growing up. You know, she worked tons of jobs to try and, you know, put food and a roof over my head and stuff like that. I've lived in where I've lived my entire life, and I had a good upbringing. I feel like, you know, I just was that kid that didn't listen, that wanted to do everything my way, and you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was, you know, I played sports in school, you know, when I got into high school, you know, I did get bullied a little bit. But, you know, my mom and I relationship, I think it started where I kind of, what's the word? Great. Now being put on the spot and trying to think of words is
Rebelled, resented
because she gave me away to my aunt. So I lived with my aunt for a little bit.
How old were you, if you mind me asking, when your mum sent you to your aunt?
Man, I was young. I was young. I was 3, 4.
Is it because of your behavior? Did you know? Like,
No. Just you know, the story is I don't even know the real story because my aunt says one thing and my mother says another. So it's like, who's telling the truth?
Lost in translation.
You know, my aunt says, you know, my mother gave me to her because she couldn't, you know, afford to
look
after me. And then, you know, my mom is saying she was tricked into giving me up, you know. So it's like I don't know the truth, but I think from that point on is where I resented my mom, you know, for a while actually. So our relationship wasn't really mother-daughter close-knit, you know. We always kind of bumped heads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't really remember a lot of my childhood though.
Yeah.
I think I blocked it out because of so much trauma that happened,
Oh,
in it.
absolutely. I resonate with that. So I've got a lot of childhood trauma, and I think it's easier for
Yeah,
us just to, chuck it in the back of the brain and, you just kind of soldier through life and, it can be good, it can be bad. And I think like what you're feeling is completely normal and natural though, and especially that resentment, when there's
yeah,
two for one, there's two stories that are completely different, and you're just
yeah,
kind of like, I'm one person. Like, what was it? Like it shouldn't
right.
be that hard to get an answer of, and years later too, like, oh, what happened? Which I think it's completely normal to be confused and frustrated and hold that resentment. Like it's no one should have to go through that. I think the I've got a lot of friends that adopted. Also, my sister was put into foster home when she was 12 because she has brain damage and so she's disabled. And it was too hard for my parents to look after her as well as all of us other kids with
Right.
ADHD and a
Yeah.
lot of us on the spectrum. And it's very similar kind of feelings with my little sister of why she was given away, and there was a couple of different stories, but it was mainly to protect her. um and the confusion that comes with that is not nice. Already it's, you're not where you should be, and then people are just kind of like, just deal with it, we don't, like it should definitely be
Just deal
something.
with it. Suck it up.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
okay.
like, no. So,
Yeah,
yeah, how, I guess, like, how old kind of were you when you, I guess, approached your mum, and did you ever find out like any real kind of answers or anything as to what happened?
no, I just, so to fast forward, what when I took recovery serious, I had a sponsor,
Yeah,
and I just worked on the steps, and just, worked on that whole resentment. I just
yeah,
let it go.
yeah, of course.
As they say, let go, let God kind of thing.
Yeah, of
I
course.
just did that because if I kept resenting, it would just eat me away. So a
If you
lot of
don't mind,
things,
it doesn't matter, I guess.
yeah, a lot of things I don't have closure on, and I just accepted that I won't,
Yeah,
and just let it go so that it doesn't,
eat
affect
away at
me.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it takes
pretty
a big
much.
person to be able to, do that, and obviously a lot of, mental strength and willpower too to, not have that. But it shows what kind of a person you are, I guess, that you can go through something like that and still be like, oh, well, you know what? I'm not going to bloody find out. So let's just, live life to the
Yeah,
fullest.
pretty much just fuck it. It
Yeah,
is what it is.
literally.
It is what it is, and
Yeah.
yeah, for myself, I had to let go
Yeah, well, I'm
of
proud of you for doing that. It takes a strong person to be able to do that. So
it.
good on you. So let's,
Oh,
after school, let's go. Fast forward a little bit. Let's go through to, your finishing school. And was there any like big events or anything that happened in your life?
so finished. Okay, so I graduated high school, which was great. And man, this is where life just started to fucking get
Happened?
crazy. Uh, uh, I I don't know if it was because I was the only child, and I don't know, I always seeked some type of love and comfort from other people, other friends' parents. Not saying listen, I love my mom. She did what she could.
Yeah,
She did the best that she could. But I don't know. I was already mentally fucked in the head, so like I always tried to. I lived with other friends' parents. I was in and out of living with different friends. For what I don't know because I don't remember, but I just started making life choices, bad life choices. I don't know if I'm allowed. Like I used to be a pharmacist, street pharmacist. I
you,
was just
you can, whatever you're comfortable
I
sharing.
was doing it all. I was up in the club selling all types of drugs and drinking, and I
Yeah,
tried to get help. I went into recovery, and then I went back to my mom, lived with my mom, but not knowing at the time that emotions were a trigger for me, because then I would end up relapsing and going
yeah,
back out, so pretty much honestly, life was from like when I was 20 to 30, what, I'm 3 years clean now, 37. It was just up and down, up and down,
Yeah.
up and down, doing the same thing,
Yeah.
pretty much doing the same thing.
Did you find that like the group of friends and that you kept, I guess, or the company you kept was like a big influence on the
Oh,
easiness of falling back into that kind of habit of, yeah,
without a doubt, without a doubt. I thought they were my friends, but
yeah,
they were just they
opportunistic.
were using, not, I guess you could say using me because I was giving them what they wanted.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was
Yeah.
making, I was one, I was making money for them. Two, I was,
The drugs, the alcohol, the parties.
drugs,
Yeah,
alcohol, parties, and stuff like that.
absolutely. Did you
Um,
did you have anyone, like anyone out of that whole group of people, I guess, or that time of what you went through, was there even like one person that you kind of that wasn't really in that scene and that you had that you could like chat to or anything, or were you just like hard and thick in that kind of scene?
that one person passed away. That was my best friend. I think I was like
Oh,
25,
I'm so
and she
sorry.
passed away in surgery. Her lungs filled up with water.
Oh
That
my
and
gosh.
that person was the only person who treated me as a female, didn't look at me because I was a lesbian or I liked women.
Yeah,
They looked at me as a human being, and they that was a big toll when they passed away.
yeah,
You know, um,
of
that was a
course.
big, that was heavy. That was
That's tough.
heavy on my heart.
I'm sorry.
Um, and
When,
it still stings a little bit. Let me tell you, it stings a little bit.
yeah.
Um, so it's not something that I really like to talk about because I'm still healing from things.
Hey, it's okay. Everyone grieves in their own way, and it doesn't like literally. Like I totally get it, like it's hard sometimes to talk about things like that, and it is raw and no one can tell you when or how you should heal and grieve, and I'm not going to press that too much because I know like how much weight that bears
Well,
on us, I think.
I've had two influential people in my life, and they, they're in heaven right now. And one of them was my mom's best friend, Venus. She
Yeah,
was like a second mom to me, and she is my guardian angel. I know that for a fact. Just like my grandma who's in heaven. But you know, I'm still having grief from that, and that is something that happened when I was a child. But
yeah,
it's weird. I don't know how to explain it. Like the emotional connection,
yeah,
I still feel it, even though
yeah,
I was so young with her.
yeah, you can sense her around
I
you.
can still sense and I can
Yeah,
still feel that emotional connection that she was somebody
absolutely.
important to me.
Can I would it be, I guess, I'm not out of line, but like, would it be out of the box to say potentially that maybe you haven't grieved it because maybe you're scared of what you'll feel if you do start to?
You know, possibly.
Yeah.
I possibly. I mean, I don't know. If I'm really honest.
Just
Like I felt
saying.
like I've went through certain griefs because I'm in AA.
Yeah.
I do some of the steps. I do
Yeah.
the step 4, and I have healed on a lot of grieving. But I don't know. Is that one? Maybe because she's just still here. Like I even feel like she's
She
here
doesn't
right
want to
now.
leave. She's just like, can't grieve me if I'm not going.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. Look, I love that though. Like I think that sometimes we feel certain people. Like I feel my mum around me all the time. Like in the most awkward situations, or like I just know that she's there. Like, haha. Like it's like because and I think all the time. Like I'm just like, oh my gosh, she would like, especially like we both stream on social media, TikTok. And a lot of the times when like things happen, especially trolls and stuff, I'm just like, man, that's my mom. Like I swear
Right.
sometimes she comes in there just to fuck with me. I'm like,
Well, the crazy thing is, I know that she's around because I used to live with my old bosses at my old boss's house for
yeah,
6 years. I lived with him, and his daughter had never seen a picture of this person,
yeah,
and she said that she is with me, that she is behind me, and she pretty much told me what she looked like to a T.
that's
And then
why
I showed her this picture, and she was like, "Yes, that's the person that I see." And so that's how I know, like for a fact, that she's chilling.
I believe that. Oh, I
And then
believe that 100%.
psychic medium.
Yep,
We all know who the psychic medium person is.
yep,
same thing, same thing. So I really believe in stuff like that these people are with me.
Oh, 100%. Like, I'm not myself personally, I'm not like a religious kind of person. I was when I was
Yeah,
younger,
yeah,
like 12 years, went to church and whatnot. Like, I don't necessarily have a belief and I respect everyone's beliefs. And like, it probably wasn't up until about 5 years ago, probably, that I actually had my own kind of like, holy crap moment, which was very similar to yours with them describing your mum's friend, happened with me and a
yeah,
friend. And like I just got a really overwhelming feeling that something was wrong. And I called this friend of mine and she's like, my cousin's gone missing. And I'd never really heard of this guy. I'd never seen a picture of him, never spoke to him, nothing like that. And I literally seen him sitting in a corner of a room playing a guitar. Like literally I seen his face. And I said, something's wrong, like you got to find him. And they found him, but he was unfortunately
oh,
went off a bridge like not long after I get goosebumps now. And I'm like, something's
yeah.
not
I
right.
just got goosebumps. Holy
Yeah, I'm
shit.
like, literally something's not right. Like, get something done. And yeah, he went over a bridge into a lake and didn't make it out. And I like literally said to her on the phone, I'm like, I can't get this out of my head. And I can't remember what I said to her, but I said something to her that I swear he was saying through me because it was a nickname that he called her and she was just in tears. And he's like,
Oh
no one knows that, like, and I'm like, "Ugh." And now literally, I cannot remember what it was.
my
Like, it's
god.
like it's been scrapped from my brain. But yeah, a couple of days later, she sent me a picture, and it was exactly what I seen. It was a picture of him
That's
in the corner of a room, same blue hat,
that's
everything. And I'm
crazy.
like, oh hell no, no, I don't like that. Nope. So like, and it's
That's
so
funny.
I do believe to a certain extent because it was just too much to just be a coinkydink, you know what I mean? So I
That part.
do, and like I get them vibes and stuff all the time, but like, and like I'm really hard to read apparently with like clairvoyance and stuff. I'm like, but I just think I spiritually block myself from that because I'm a very realistic, straightforward, black and white, scientific kind of gal. Like I want the
Yeah,
evidence. Like if I don't
yeah,
see it, I don't believe it. If I can't like work it out, like like I don't want by
yeah.
the. I was always like I didn't want like by the grace of God or whatnot. It's like no, that's not good enough for me. Like I get that that's what you guys like. That's what it is. It's that thing, but like I'm gonna need some like paperwork on that. You know what I mean? So
No, no,
I get
I'm
really,
the same
yeah,
way.
it gets really hard. So where were we? Back to you, baddie nation.
Grieving sucks, but
It does.
you gotta heal through it, and it takes time to heal. Like I
Yep.
said, 20 something years, and I'm still healing on my best friend, and that's okay, because
Absolutely.
there's no time on healing. So
There's one thing that until we'll move forward after that, but just with that, you were saying that she was the one person that treated you like a chick, like a girl. That
like a
treated you like
human freaking being, man, didn't see
yeah.
me for
So
for
is it because I guess like you got a more like tomboy exterior and whatnot? Do you feel like people didn't really treat you in that kind of feminine, kind of gentle energy way because you're more
well, see,
like
that's
how
the
you
thing.
doing?
It in high school, I wore jeans and hoodies, female jeans, because like, listen, my mom didn't really. Like, I wanted to wear a tux to my prom, and my mom was like, "No fucking way." Like, my mom wanted me to be like the lipstick lesbian, as they
Girly
call it.
girl,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
that just wasn't me. I grew
Yep,
up as a tomboy.
yep,
I had a male figure in my life that, that's a completely fucking different story. But like, that, and he helped me with cars. I was always playing football, tag, doing
yep.
boy stuff. So I mean, yeah, I could say I was a tomboy, but I don't. Do I have masculine energy? The only time I have masculine energy is in the bedroom. That's it. Other than that, I don't. I'm
Yeah.
feminine.
No,
Um,
like for me, like I've known you a little while now, and like you, like not for 1 second would I think that like anything about you would be masculine, would be like, well, they say like butch or anything like that male energy.
yeah.
You are very secure and like I think very confident in yourself as a human being, which is beautiful. But you've always just given really strong woman like like I'm here and I'm like getting shit done, like,
Yeah.
and I think that it shouldn't really matter to flipping anyone what anyone looks like at the end of the day, because
Yeah,
it's not
I
affecting
just
their
wear guy clothes.
personal, like what's it affecting you,
Yeah.
and it costs nothing to be kind, and unfortunately these things do play on people's minds and they can affect them in life, especially when you are yourself, but people are trying to make it out or make you feel that you're something that you're not or whatnot. It's like, I'm just me. Like, I think a lot of standards are pretty crappy in society these days, and we need to stop focusing on what we think people are and just listen to who they
Yeah.
are. Listen to them. Like,
Yeah.
people are
We're
cool.
all human beings. We all have, blood and organs and all that shit
Yeah.
inside. Like we're the same. We're human beings. It shouldn't matter what we like. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't understand it at all.
I
I
don't
don't
either.
get
I
it.
do not want to.
But when I was in high school, mind you, being gay
Yep.
wasn't really accepted still. As it is. It's still not as, but it is accepted more.
Yeah.
But so
How
like
old
I
were
got
you when you
bullied for that.
came out?
My mom looked at me and said, "Spicy, mark my words on you are gonna come out to me and tell me that you're gay." And I said, "No." She knew before I
Did you know at
knew.
the time that you were gay, or you were like a nerd?
So I've always been attracted to women. I've always been comfortable with my sexuality. To say a man even looks good, but just
Yep.
emotional connection is not there. Sexual connection is not there. Just I
Yep.
can
Yep.
openly say like a man looks good, but I I I I've had boyfriends. I've kissed boys. I
Ew,
didn't think.
gross.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
um,
not reminisce on them too much.
it's out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know. I think I was like 13 when I was like, I
Yeah.
do like women. I do. I love
Awesome.
them.
Have you
Yeah.
um
So probably 15.
have you had many, I guess, like long-term relationships or anything with chicks, or just kind of,
So, so, so a lot of people think I'm some big ass flirt because I have such a awesome personality
absolutely.
that
It's just the
that
confidence.
people are drawn to, I
Yeah.
guess, and they think that I'm flirting with them, but I'm just really being nice.
100%.
So, a lot of people thought I was just like this, not
Troller.
whore, but
Troller.
yeah,
I get the
right.
exact same thing. I'm like, it's just because I'm hilarious and people gravitate towards me.
Yeah, I'm very picky. So a lot of my relationships, and it was only. Um, it was only four,
Yep.
and I had four relationships, and didn't you know I didn't have sex outside of those relations, like, what I'm
Yep.
saying, like
Yeah.
I have to be emotionally
Connected to
connected with
physically.
you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
like the physical
absolutely.
comes
Yep.
last. Like I really have to have an emotional connection. If I
Yep.
don't, then I'm not going to open myself up. But yeah,
Absolutely.
so I had four relationships my whole life,
Yep.
and one of them was a fucking hot mess for 7 years, mentally, emotionally, physically abusive.
Yep.
That fucked me up.
Yeah.
I can say that now because I realized stuff, but at that time I thought I was in love. I did everything for this person, but man, narcissistic comes in. That narcissism comes
Oh,
in, and
yeah, I do.
believing them that I'm
Yeah.
worthless, that I'm a piece of shit, no one's gonna love me, not believing in my. It took
Yeah.
7 years for me to fucking walk away,
Yeah.
and
I think 7 years is most people is when they have the come to Jesus moment, um, of fuck. Like this is make or break, and often I've spoke to so many people that are in abusive relationships, male and female, that
mm,
they do, their self-worth is at an all-time low, and
oh,
they
so
stay.
low.
They stay because it's not only that comfortability, it's that normalcy, it's that, oh, well, like, what am I? Like, I'm nothing. Like, they despise me and they once loved me. So, like, who else is going to want me if I'm, like, broken and torn and tethered, It's, where you get to a point where you literally lose all your self-love. And I think, you know,
Oh,
un-
lost it all.
unfortunately, a lot of times it doesn't, end well and they don't get out. So I'm
Mm.
so proud of you for realizing that and recognizing that.
Well,
Also going
I
through
had
that.
to
Ugh.
I had to I stayed because they were
Yeah,
harming themselves.
and that's the worst
And they
case
would
of mental
say,
manipulation.
"Oh my God," they would
Yeah.
always say, "If you leave me, I'm going to go back to this. If you leave me, I'm
Yeah.
going to go back to this."
And
And I
then
didn't
the
want that. I
empathy
didn't
in
want that.
you,
Uh,
obviously, yeah. And
so
like,
and then each relationship that I went into, I like that 7 years. I picked up narcissistic behaviors
yeah.
in myself because of that, and then I carried them into those relationships
It's
because I
almost
had
like
one.
Is it Munchausen syndrome or something? Or whatever I think it's almost like when
Yeah,
where you say if you were kidnapped, you like are then taking on traits or falling in love with like the
yeah,
captor because it's such a learnt behavior and you just kind of fall into it because you're so used to this kind of shit that it
yeah,
almost feels normal at the end of the day, which is
yeah.
completely normal for people to take on them traits too, and it's almost like a defense mechanism,
Hmm.
like it's almost like, you kind of shut down mentally and you just go numb and it's easier just to be like,
No,
yeah, nah. Like, because
yeah,
it's like, and reaction, like I know for me personally, if someone's trying to fight, I would just shut down. I just like, okay, yeah, no worries. Like I won't have an opinion because I'm so used to if I spoke up, it would not
yes,
go well, even if I was in a
yes.
right. So I just learned to shut my mouth and
Shut my
just
mouth, not have a voice, none of that.
100%
Yeah,
lose yourself.
yeah, yeah. It took pretty much 2, 3 years of me being in recovery now to have that backbone. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, but my current love of my life
Hmm.
has helped me.
Yeah.
I could cry because her strengths, and she knows this. I tell her all the time how much I admire her and how much she has inspired me because she has helped me get my voice back. She has helped me just have the strength that I lost before, I started really getting into drugs and alcohol and having that 7 year relationship that totally just destroyed the
Yeah.
fuck out of me as an individual. Um, and I've never had someone believe in me. I've never had someone say, I'm proud of you. I've never had someone stick beside me and just not give up on me in the way that she has in the amount of time that we have known each other.
Yeah.
And I have a voice now. I stick up for myself.
I love it. Ah, literally, I think you guys have one of the most beautiful, beautiful relationships. Like like I think all of our groups, far and wide, can attest to. It's just one of the most genuinely sweet, kind. You're always talking about each other, regardless if you're in a live or whatnot with each other or not. Like she honestly is such a beautiful human, but she compliments you so well because you are also, and I think sometimes we're going to go through hell and high waters before we can just find that landing of peace and solitude and just, when someone gets you, they get you.
And at the and that I think we're in each other's lives now because we're both able to. I think we're both capable and can handle and manage what we are managing now and
Yeah,
handling in a relationship. If we were to meet each other back when, we wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? So I
yeah,
think
we would have
the
butted heads a
universe
bit maybe.
said, yeah, and the universe pretty much said, you guys are ready.
Yeah.
You're going to go through some tests,
Mm-hmm.
but this is what's going to make your bond and
Yeah,
relationship that much stronger.
I
And it's
love
what,
that. Yay, let's go. All right,
yeah.
let's get to it. Teen
Yes.
Choice Cheer
Yes.
Awards.
Yes.
Tell
The
me
Cheer
about it.
Choice Awards. So the Cheer Choice Awards. Listen, I consider myself a small creator,
Yep.
on TikTok, and we people nominated the Spicy Mac for being a positive impact
Mm-hmm.
on the app. which is such an honor just to be nominated because I never heard of the Cheer Choice Awards. I don't know what the fuck it is. And to be nominated and get to see the people that
Yeah,
are
there's
nominated is like
massive list of incredible humans.
amazing human beings and like so I only have TikTok. I don't have Instagram. I don't have YouTube. I don't have Facebook. I don't have any of that. My social media is my platform is on TikTok. So to see all these other amazing human beings that have millions of followers,
Yep,
and to be able to have the family and community that I have that believed in me and pushed me to top
absolutely.
up.
Well, I think you need to give yourself a bit more credit. You know,
I, yeah.
a lot more,
No.
a lot more credit, because although you might not be Facebook famous or all the Instagram
Mm.
and stuff like that, you know, like when I came across you, the one thing that resonated with me and stuck with me and why I continue to come back is you were real. And not saying that none of the other nominees aren't or whatnot. Like I've watched a fair few of them also, and they're lovely, lovely humans. But out of all of it, you show every single side of you. You don't get on and just pretend you're okay all the time. You know, you don't, you know, you genuinely want to stop and just like hear what people are doing, how people are. You know, the amount of times you've like, even me as a creator too, we don't often get checked in on, and you actively check in on me and make sure I'm doing good when you've got like you are much more present on the app and that than I am. And you know, it's, you know, and I know just how many people that genuinely depend on you, and it's not easy keeping up that, you know, but you share your stories. You also give your platform to people to share theirs, you know, their transitions, their recoveries, you know, their lives, like their traumas. And you literally, the space that you provide is so complex, but it's so easy to get in. You know, like it's so easy just to sit there. And if you don't want to talk, you don't have to talk, but you know that everyone's there for you. You know, people just know your whole family is incredible. And I've had so many of them as well reach out to me and come into my lives and whatnot. And they just know when you're not right, you know. And so I think that that's something that you've built, you know, and I think that that is the reason you were nominated. And that's the reason you up the top there, is because you started this and you have created this family that has now gone international. You know, it's all over the world. You've got people in the Spicy fam, and they are just such goddamn good humans, you know. And although there will be trouble and there's going to be dramas, like there is bloody everywhere and whatnot,
Oh,
those
fucking
those people see you and they know. And I think that that's what you want, though. Sometimes you need a little bit of beef or whatnot to realize who's actually genuine, because it's really hard in especially mental health, like recovery and addictions and stuff like that, to have real people that are there for your failures as well as your gains, you know.
yeah.
And it's a blessing and a curse, that app, but you know, you definitely have one of the most rare spaces on that platform, I think, for people to just be able to exist and be themselves. You know, like it's beautiful. Good on you. Proud of you.
I think it's because I know what it's like to
Yeah. Life
go through
experience.
things alone, suffer alone, be
Yep.
in those dark
Mm-hmm.
thoughts,
Yep.
wanting to do things that I that wouldn't have me here today, being able to do
Absolutely.
what I do. So like, I don't want people to feel the way I felt.
Yep.
I don't want them to go through that. I want them to know that they always have someone that won't give up on them, that someone believes in them every day. Um, even if I don't know them, even if they're just sitting in there and they didn't, like I want people to know that there's someone listening to them, that they're always going to be seen and heard. And
Well, you've done
it
your
took a
job.
while. It's taken a while. I've gone through a lot of
Crap.
crap. And honestly, I just stay in my own lane, mind my own freaking business, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever is poisoning my soul and who I am as a person, I just I leave. I go the other way,
The
and I
haters are
just
gonna
keep
hate, the
moving
potatoes are
forward.
gonna potato.
They are, and I'm not. Everyone's feeling is valid. If someone felt a certain way through an experience, that's fine. That's on
Yeah,
you. Like I respect that because that was an experience you had. Okay, but sometimes
projection's real.
and and it's just crazy the things that the things that I had to go through.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I feel like they were a blessing too because
yeah,
it opened my eyes to those people and who they really
yeah,
are, and I don't want those people around me. I
100.
really want genuine people, and like you said, my this community that we have built now, and I guess I hate saying my because I'm not a selfish person,
Yeah, but
so I don't.
there's no
I
team without me.
yeah. So
Well, if you weren't here, it wouldn't be around, would it?
yeah, I know, I know, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to
And that's
accept
where
that
I
every day.
say, in the most selfless term of the word, you have to take credit for it because it started with you. Like it's as much as we feel odd going me or my or da da da. That's just the facts. That's just the facts. You did create this and you did actively
I
choose to
know.
start this and you have built this and yeah, we've got family, friends and all that help the wheels turn, but that's what our
Yeah,
family is. You still created it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
it's like building a car and someone chose a color and you're like, nah, nah, it's all no, like
I
it's
get it.
there's always going to be pieces to the puzzle and but you should take a lot more credit than what you do, I think,
Uh,
because yeah, it's you have done incredible and you're an incredible human. We are like none of us are perfect. But I think
no,
being raw and real and vulnerable is one of the rarest things that we can be. And and like you said, if even if people are just in there and they don't communicate and stuff, well, they do. It was point proven. I was watching the comments the other day when we were live together, um, and there was probably 4 or 5 people that are like, I don't normally comment, I just listen, but thank you. Like literally that were like, I comment all the time and I'm too scared to talk. But like you literally help people, and I think a lot of the times we do without even realizing, and that's a beautiful thing, and sometimes we're not
so
perfect and
beautiful.
we can't help everyone, because we're just one person. But
Right. And what's crazy is I try to get to my messages. I try, and
it's hard.
the one time that I don't,
They turn.
oh my fucking God.
Comment
And
all
I'm
the
like,
time. Don't you worry. All
I'm
the
like,
time.
do you understand, like being a creator, being a streamer, and just like being
Yeah.
an awesome, like a genuine, awesome human being that cares for people and
Yeah.
empath. It's a lot. It's a lot. And the one time that I needed to take care of my mental health, and I blocked everybody out,
Yeah.
I'm the bad guy for it.
Yeah. And I
And
think that's probably a big reason why I do this. Um, well, not the biggest, but like that's one of the reasons I do this is for people to see what it's like from one our side as well. And also it's a broad way of communicating to a mass of people. Like I always say, we can't fill someone else's cup if ours is empty. And
my,
we're one people, like one people, can't even England. We're one person, like for me, for me personally, like I'm a business owner. I've got 3 children. I'm a single mom. Like, it's super hard in real life just to deal with my own mental health struggles.
right.
And I am giving so much of my time that I can to replying to people's messages and stuff. But that
Yeah.
I think people out there that do not stream, I think a lot of the times you just don't realize that when we go live, that's us sending a message back to you. That's what we're
Yeah.
doing because it's a way for us to reply to everyone at once. Like come in,
Yeah.
sit back with this, have a chat and that because it does get
Hmm.
overwhelming. And at the end of the day, like we choose to correspond with people privately and we don't have to. A lot of people would not even message people privately. They wouldn't reach out and do that kind of helping hand for people. They'll get on, do their thing and then get off, and I think people need to have a little bit more compassion for streamers, and not just myself or you, like, but for any streamer that goes out of their way to reach out to you, because it is extra effort, and it's just something that people will do because they've got kind hearts, and I think you also need to make sure you have someone else that you can depend on. We can't be your only person that you rely
Right.
on, and if you have
Right.
mental health struggles, you have to seek help. Go see your GP,
Yes.
lifelines. You can check on our pages. We've got heaps of numbers and email addresses and websites and stuff that you can contact for.
Oh, I
Yeah,
share the stuff
absolutely.
over here. I
Yeah,
share all the time.
and just being
Not on
fluid.
live, not on live, but in personal messages,
Yeah,
give the
absolutely.
number and stuff.
Yeah, and I think, like often if you don't get a reply, like that's okay. Just if you see someone live the next time, just come and say, "G'day, what's up?" Like I dropped you a message, but it's all good. Don't worry about it. Like I see you're good, I'm good. And I
Oh
think it's
gosh.
not putting pressure on yourself or anyone else either, because we're all going through the same struggles and the same journeys, and
Hmm.
we're just trying to get through life.
But we're just trying to get through fucking life one day at a time,
Yeah,
putting one foot in front of the other.
that's it. Now, I just
Yeah.
wanted to
So
say,
it
you want
was
to
a lot
keep.
of. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, just so we can stop it there. Um, is there like a few other different points or whatnot that you wanted to kind of go over with your kind of story so I can like transition into them a bit smoother or whatnot?
It's whatever you want. It's whatever you want to
No, man,
do.
this ain't about me.
Listen, we talked about your choice awards. Uh,
Was there
I
anything
can
else
go.
that you wanted
I
to
can
talk
go
about I
on
haven't
and
touched
on
on?
and on and on and on.
I mean, like, is
I
there
could.
anything specific maybe that you might want to talk about but I haven't touched on?
No, I mean, we pretty much where I've been
Yeah,
and what I went through and recovery and
around
now TikTok
there.
streaming and yes, the love of my life. Man, I tell you, I love that girl with my whole fucking soul.
Oh, we know. Yeah, you too though. Now,
All right.
if you could give one message to
Oh God,
someone out there right now that may have been going through a similar experience and recovery, mental health, like domestic violence situation that is at the start of their journey of recovering, escaping and whatnot, what would your
I'm not
message
good at
be
this.
to them?
I'm not good at this.
It's fine. Fine.
Listen. My thing is speak up.
Yep.
That's it. Speak up and don't be afraid to go get help. You know, that's just pretty much just speak up.
Yep.
Don't. I don't have a message. My message is just speak up and don't ever suffer in silence and alone. Just go out and get the help.
It is a message
Cause
though.
oh,
I feel
it's
like in a way it's a message of frustration because you might have felt that you should have fucking listened to it how many years ago?
oh my God, a long time ago I should have
I'm
listened
exactly the
to.
same in that sense. I'm like, like I can tell people like, don't do this, get out, da 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 da. But then it took an axe to my back door for me to do it. Like it's like, come on,
Yeah,
buddy. Like
yeah,
it's hard, and that's why I like putting people in that situation
yeah.
too because it does
I should
it
have reached out.
challenges you. But
I should have reached out when I should have reached out and I didn't. I just kept it all inside, and that was my biggest. I wouldn't say I don't know. Maybe it was a mistake.
lesson,
Hmm?
your biggest lesson,
Yeah,
yeah.
biggest lesson. There you go. I like that.
I
Yes,
wish
my biggest
I
lesson
just
was not speaking up and keeping it all inside and not going to get the help that I needed when I needed. And also, I was doing things my way,
yeah.
and my way wasn't working, and I had to retrain my brain to do it a different way in life. And now I'm doing great. I'm doing amazing. 3 years of
So flipping
fucking
proud of you.
yeah.
One and only Spicy Mac. Well, look, honestly, I'm so proud of you, and I thank you so much for sharing your story. I know it's never easy to kind of, you know, put yourself out there on the line, especially not when it's like going to be there forever as well. But, I think it's super important to tell these kind of stories and for people to have a resource that, like, if they are feeling shitty or they're stuck in a situation, they can go, crap, okay, I'm going to go watch this. What were they doing? What were they saying? Like, sometimes people just need to see that people are going through the same thing as what they are. And to know that, you matter, you're important. Um, you don't deserve anything that is happened on the negative side that we've spoken of. Like, no one deserves that. No one, male, female. It does not need to happen. We need to be an advocate for ourselves. We need to be our own voice. And we need to make sure that we don't ever lose it, because we've lost too many people in this world to not only drug and alcohol abuse, to domestic violence, to so many mental health, struggles. And, you matter, and you're on this earth for a
Yes.
reason.
Remember, you matter and you're worth it.
Absolutely.
And the world's a better place with you all in it. And if no one
100%.
told you today, the Spiciest Mac is going to tell you I'm freaking proud of y'all.
And I'm proud of you too. Thank you so much, Spicy. I appreciate
Thank you. It's an honor.
And thank
It's
you
an
to
honor.
everyone that's been watching along at home. Remember, if any of this conversation has in any way, shape, or form upset you or triggered you, can you please reach out to someone you love, to Lifeline or a
Super
helpline?
important.
You can find them all on our page. Again, I'm not a mental health professional in any way, shape, or form. Neither is Spicy Mac. We are just telling our story from life experience, hoping that it helps at least one person out there. Remember, you're loved, you're needed. It's a bad day, not a bad life. And I have been your host, Jasmine, and thank you so much.
Bye.
Before we begin today's episode, we want to acknowledge that the stories shared in this podcast may touch on mental health challenges, shared by real people with real experiences. If you or someone you know needs support, help is available. In Australia, you can contact Lifeline at 131114 or Beyond Blue at 13002 24636 for confidential support. If you're in immediate danger or need urgent help, please pause this episode and call 000 now. If you're listening from outside Australia, we encourage you to reach out to local mental health services for support. Remember, you are not alone. Help is always within reach.